Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby and today we are going to be talking about the Cheetah Girls. Now I want to keep this video relatively contained because I don't want to start talking and rambling and make this about an hour. We don't have time for that today. So I want to keep it contained to these three things. So I'm going to talk about the movies. So I'm going to talk about their characters within the movies and the plot of the movies and what I liked and what I didn't like. I'm going to talk about my favorite soundtracks. So I'm going to rank the soundtracks of the movies from movies 1 to 3. And that's funny because I don't know which one is my favorite, but we'll get to it when we get to it. And I'm going to be talking about the group, the Cheetah Girls, because I feel like a lot of people don't know that they were an entity separate from the movies and that they actually went on tour and they were making Disney Channel a whole lot of money, like just in general. So those are the things that I want to focus on for this video. So for those of you who don't know, and I didn't know this either up until like a couple of hours ago when I googled it in preparation to make this video, the Cheetah Girls actually started out as a book series about a group of multiracial girls who were friends and who wanted to make it big in the music industry, pretty much synonymous with what we get with the movies. But it started out as a book series written by Deborah Gregory, and then it transformed into multi-billion-dollar franchise run by the Rat Channel, Disney Channel. Now, I don't like to give Disney Channel a lot because it's Disney Channel, but I must say, so for example, the first Cheetah Girls movie came out in 2003, and I was 5 years old in 2003, and I think that was one of the first times where I can't even say that I was aware of what I was watching, but it's one of the first times where I saw multiple groups of people who look different from each other. And maybe we should tackle this in another video, but after like That's a Raven and the Cheetah Girls, and up until we get to like Camp Rock High School Musical, there was this like phasing out of people of color from Disney Channel, and then they brought it back after, but that's a conversation for a whole nother story. So the first Cheetah Girls movie came out when I was 5 years old, and yeah, there was a lot of, it's often praised for being one of the first Disney Channel movies with a diverse and multicultural cast. So there's that. And before we begin, just a few things that I want to hit. Throughout the first I'm trying not to be mean, but throughout the first movie especially, it got better later on. Throughout the first movie, the girls couldn't act, besides Raven, and I'm not even gonna hold that against them too much because Keely and Adrian came from 3LW. I don't think that they were like trained in acting, whereas Raven Symone had been acting from The Cosby Show. She'd been doing her thing already, Raven Symone, but those two couldn't act, and Sabrina was a dancer. She auditioned by dancing, so she couldn't act. So the first one was entertaining though. It's not one of those movies where you have to sit through and nobody can act but the plot is also bad. Nobody could act, but the movie was entertaining. I was living. So one, they couldn't act, and number two out of 4 girls could not sing. They couldn't hold a note, but we'll get to that later when we get on to like Cheetah Girls, the actual group. Number 3, Adrian had a black scent throughout the first movie, at least to me. I don't live in New York. I've been to visit, and I know that there's a heavy Latinx presence in New York, but it was giving black scent. I feel maybe I can't even say maybe it wasn't. It was giving black scent, but you know what? It was in 2003. And I can forgive and forget. We didn't know better back then. So we'll just leave it at that. So those are the three things that come to mind when I think of the first one. So the first Cheetah Girls, and I didn't know this too, but the first Cheetah Girls was actually executive produced by Whitney Houston. So there's that fun fact. If you didn't know, now you know. The first movie, okay, this is the plot. So they're the Cheetah Girls already in the first movie, and they're trying to make it big. So they're in high school and they are auditioning for the high school talent show. So while they're auditioning, after their audition from this talent show, it isn't even the actual talent show yet, this record label executive, who's supposed to be this in-demand record label executive, shows up at their audition from at high school. Like, he doesn't have a real job. So he shows up and he tries to sign them. And Raven's mother in the movie is the only, like, she's a movie mother. She was actually parenting. She was trying to parent, and she was like, y'all are not doing anything until I read this contract. So They go through all of that, and then we get to the point in the movie where the record executive tries to take advantage of the girls. He tries to turn the Cheetah Girls into, well, not the Cheetah Girls anymore. And at that point, Raven does, I keep calling them by their names because, like, Galleria, she does the right thing. I didn't agree with all of her methods, though. She does the right thing, and she's like, you're not changing the group that I started, that I founded, and the other girls were mad at her for saying that. But then in the second movie, we'll get to it. And so they break up for a while, but then in an effort to save Raven's dog, they get back together. Oh, it was fun. Okay, it was something for the summertime, something that the girls could get ready to. It was a fun movie, and it did very, very well. I think the ratings were like 6.8 million people tuned in to watch that movie, so it did very, very well. Now I'm gonna talk about the characters for this movie. Just this movie, though, and then when we get to the second one, I'm going to talk about what they did in the second one that I liked or did not like. So the one thing that this movie did, I think what it was supposed to do, is introduce us to each girl separately and their personalities so we could get to know them. And I think it succeeded. Well, it almost succeeded, because I still don't know nothing about Aqua. I don't know, and she's played by Keely Williams. I know that she's smart, though we don't find out that she's quote unquote smart until the second movie. I know nothing about her other than the fact that she's from Houston. I don't even think we saw her dad, not once, because I think she lived with her dad, but it wasn't clear. We don't see him not once. And this played out through the entire 3 movies, because I don't know who that... the Cheetah Girls would have been better off without her, I fear. She can't sing. She can't really dance. Like, she doesn't write the music, so I'm confused as to your role in this group, other than to, like, antagonize Galleria. Well, I wouldn't even say antagonize, but to call out Galleria when Galleria goes on a power trip. I think that's what she was there for, to, like, call her out and then remind her, oh, da 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 da. But other than that, Aqua was not... I don't know why she was there. The second movie, I don't know why she was there either, but we're gonna get to it. Do-Re-Mi, I liked her a little bit. She is a foster kid and she doesn't have as much money and resources as the others, but I was so confused because I'm just like, because she thought that they were going to kick her out of the group for not having as much resources as they did, and I'm just like, okay, like, what have you heard about them? But I liked her. The only thing is that she better than me, because I would have punched Galleria in the face if she told me. Galleria was like, so as I said before, Doremi, she's a foster kid and she doesn't have that much money and she doesn't have that much resources, so she was wearing like the same clothes all of the time, whatever that means. Like, she was just wearing her clothes, and then Galleria was like, you better go buy some new clothes before we meet the record executive, and I was like, no, couldn't be me, because I would have punched her in her face. Next character, Chanel. Okay. In the beginning, Chanel is played by Adrienne Bailon. So Adrienne Bailon was like second lead vocal after Raven-Symoné, and her character was very like, so I wouldn't say that she had a necessarily antagonistic relationship with her mother, but it was very hit or miss, and by the end they made up, and yeah, that was it. That's it for the rest of the characters, because this was the Raven-Symoné show. I mean, because Raven was the main girl on Disney for a very, very long time, up until That's So Raven ended. So it would make sense that she's the star. She's the lead of the show. Did I agree with everything that Galleria did? No. But was she right? Yes. She was writing all the music. I know Adrienne was mad when she said that she founded the group, but I didn't see nobody else doing anything besides Galleria, I'm afraid. Galleria was up here meeting with execs. She was the one writing the music. So I don't know I know why you all were mad, but she was giving star power, she was giving stage presence, she was giving vocals. I know a lot of people have their opinions as to whether Raven-Symoné can sing or not, and there are two other people in this group who definitively cannot sing. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But it was the Raven show. It was the Galleria show, and she was the one that stood out the most, I'm afraid. I agreed with Galleria when she was saying that when the record executive was trying to change the Cheetah Girls into something else and she was ready to walk, she was talking big at the beginning of the movie, but when she had to choose between her fame and her integrity, she said, I am going to choose integrity. And what was the rest of them girls doing? When Keely was like, you just don't want to do it because you didn't write the song, and what? She doesn't want to do it because she didn't write the song, and what? I agree. Now, as I said before, do I agree with her methods? No. Did I agree with her when she cussed out that teacher? No. Those are sirens. I'm gonna wait. And that's all that I have to say on the first movie. I thought this was a good movie. Was it the best movie out of the three? No, because we have the next movie to talk about. But for an introductory movie, I think it did pretty well. And a lot of people thought that it did pretty well because based off of the first movie, we got the sequel. So the next movie that we are going to talk about, and arguably the most popular movie that we are going to talk about here today, is The Cheetah Girls 2. So this is the movie where we go to Barcelona. The guy that Chanel's mom was dating at the time is from Barcelona, so he invited them to Barcelona. Chanel didn't want to go alone because she does not like the guy that her mother is dating, so she invites the Cheetah Girls, but in order to conjure up a way for the Cheetah Girls to go with her to Barcelona, they find this singing competition, and then they go and they audition for the singing competition. They get in, chaos ensues, drama ensues, and then they stop being friends. This is a theme for the three movies, by the way. They stop being friends, and then by the end, everything is kumbaya and great again. This is the best movie. I'm gonna say it off the bat. There's no controversy here. There is nothing to talk about here. This one is the best one. In terms of what everybody did throughout this movie, Aqua, somebody tell me why she's here. I don't understand why she's here. She's the least interesting. She has the least personality, to me at least. It just didn't make any sense. Like, she doesn't have a clearly defined role, because if you look at it, Galleria is the unofficial leader. Nobody wants to admit it, but she's the unofficial leader of the group. Chanel sings, I guess. Doremi dances. So I don't know what she was doing. I don't think she knew what she was doing. This is the movie where we realize how smart she is, and we also realize that she has like a passion for fashion. That's the brats. But we realize that she's into fashion, and that's it. Nothing else happens. Doremi got a boyfriend in this movie, Joaquin, but she's sort of kind of insecure, so there's that. Chanel, a whole mess. I'm gonna talk about Chanel in relation to Galleria, because Galleria was the only person that was actually making sense this entire movie. So what's her face, Chanel, I'm not going to talk about her relationship with her mom's boyfriend, because she's entitled to feel how she wants to feel about that situation. But you mean to tell me that you are 6 days away from this competition and you are learning one of your competitors' songs, and you haven't picked a song for for your group? And then when Galleria tries to bring up the fact that, hey, we need to rehearse, we haven't picked a song, and you are out here practicing other people's songs when we don't know what we're doing for this competition, you want to gaslight her, and you want to say, oh, well, you act like you're the leader, you want to be in control. Somebody has to do it. Like how she was saying in the first one, somebody has to take control, because y'all, the rest of you, are not doing anything. So why are you mad when she's the one that has to be like, okay, we actually need to get some work done because the competition is 5 days away and we don't know what we're doing? She pissed me off. All of these girls besides Galleria, this entire movie was pissing me off. So I'm just like, where do they do, like, what are you doing? Where does this come from? Where do they do this? Is this how we behave when we have to compete? Did you forget that y'all came here to compete in a competition, and that's how you're gonna act? This brings me to Galleria, because she didn't do anything wrong this entire movie. I know last movie, like, they were getting on her because she thought that she was in charge and she was acting like the boss, but now look, because I thought it was like, before she decided to leave, when she told her mom, she's like, I'm not getting up on stage and embarrassing myself. And I was like, I feel you 110%, because if something did not change, they wouldn't have competed. It's only because she scared them by going to the airport, by leaving, literally not even threatening to leave, because she was gonna leave if they didn't show up in their pajamas singing to her at the airport. So she was gonna leave, and it took that to whip them up into shape. And it's so weird, because I'm just like, y'all do realize it's because of Galleria that you're even in this competition. Because when they called on the phone the first time and they were like, oh, like, the application's late, and Galleria was like, y'all better start singing on the phone, it's because of her. She writes the music. In the first movie, when she said she writes the songs, Chanel was like, oh, we all pitch in. Well, look now, nobody pitched in. She wrote like Spanish lyrics on her, like, she wrote the song. So what is going on here? Like, Galleria was on point the entire movie. She didn't miss, she didn't fail, and it's because of them that they won the competition. I'm assuming that they won because, and side note, Belinda Marisol, I can't I think her real name is Belinda. I think her real name is Belinda, and I think her name in the movie was Marisol. For having such a gremlin and a gargoyle for a mother, she's pretty sweet, actually. She's pretty sweet, but I did not like how they were trying to gaslight Galleria when all she was trying to do is trying to get them to rehearse. They should have been wanting to rehearse it was like 6 days left and not one rehearsal had taken place, and I was starting to get panicked for her because I'm just like, this is impossible right now. But yeah, that was the second movie. I am very attached to this movie because I was there when it premiered, and the songs, the musical numbers, it was incredible. The strut scene, iconic. When I think of Disney Channel original movies, that's one of the first scenes that come to mind. The party's just begun, Dance with Me, even Belinda's Why Wait, A la Nanita. It was all very, very excellent. The movie was very excellent. The music was very excellent. But on to the next movie. Let me drink my One World. So this movie was released in 2008, and I'm not even going to go into like what each character did because it would be a waste of time because nobody really did anything. The plot for this movie was not very well defined. Like, I don't know what was happening, right? And it's not that this movie was bad, but in comparison to the last one that we had, how good the last one was, it was kind of a letdown because I was there for the premiere of this one as well. I just don't think that here is my theory, actually. But before we get into that, so this is the movie that they went to India. They filmed in India for 3 months. And take what I say with a grain of salt, but I was looking up articles to see how like Indian people felt about the movie, and I couldn't find anything I couldn't find anything, but more importantly, I couldn't find anything negative. So there was that, and like even while watching it, I didn't think that the culture was being used as a prop. I felt like, okay, they went to India to film the movie, and there's like a lot of Indian culture in here, but as I said, once again, I'm not Indian, so take that with a grain of salt. But it could have gotten very cultural appropriating very, very quickly if they hadn't done it well. My theory about this movie in comparison to the other 2 movies, right? I feel like Cheetah Girls 1 and Cheetah Girls 2 were movies that incorporated music into them, and Cheetah Girls One World was a movie soundtrack that had a movie built around it. So it was a soundtrack that had a movie built around it, and I guess this is where I get into my ranking of the soundtracks, which I don't know. Like, I don't know. That is my okay, here's the thing, right? So the first one would be like the lowest one for me, right? It wasn't that the music was bad. Like Cinderella's always going to be a bop, but I feel like there were less iconic moments in the first movie soundtrack and the movie overall, just because it was the first one. Where my dilemma lies between Cheetah Girls 2 and Cheetah Girls One World is that I am very attached to the music in Cheetah Girls 2 because I liked the movie so much, and there were so many iconic scenes in the movie that I have no choice but to like the movie associated with the music, right? With One World, because I did not necessarily like the movie all that much in comparison to 2, it's hard for me to disassociate the music with the movie, if that makes sense. I listened to One World, the soundtrack, and there's really good if you disassociate the soundtrack with the movie, there's some really good songs on there, you guys. Like, it's really, really good. And I know a lot of people might not want to hear that, but the music off of One World is really, really good. I just think that I associate the music with the second movie, with the soundtrack, as I meant to do, and the movie was so good, so automatically I'm supposed to think that the soundtrack is better as well. And don't get me wrong, Strut, Step Up, The Party's Just Begun, Dance With Me, all of it's really, really good, but I also have Dig a Little Deeper, Cheetah Love, Dance Me If You Can, I'm the One World. Like, it's just a lot. It's just a lot, and I don't know. If I had to pick, I would pick the second one, but I also know that I'm very, very biased just because of the movie. And yeah, that was my roundup of the movies. So Cheetah Girls 2 is the best movie. Then we have the Cheetah Girls, the first one, and then we have One World. I think One World is the worst movie, and I think that everybody should agree with me. And for the soundtrack, like, I don't know what my ranking is. All that I know is that the first one would be my lowest ranking one. Next, we get into the Cheetah Girls. So it was quite noticeable when Raven Symone wasn't there for Cheetah Girls One World, and at the time she had said that it was because she was making solo music and she didn't want people to get confused and yada yada yada. But there was a lot happening behind the scenes when it came to the Cheetah Girls. So for the first movie, everybody was there, everybody was cool, but after that, Keely, Adrian, and Sabrina, they were put together as a group, and they were performing as the Cheetah Girls without Raven while she was doing That's a Raven, because she had her own thing and her own solo career going on. So because of that, they obviously got closer. And then when Raven came back to film Cheetah Girls Part 2, she said that there was obviously this like clickiness that was happening, which made sense. So she left, she didn't come back, she didn't feel comfortable while filming the second movie, and that's great for her. She didn't want to come back, If I was Adrian by law and I figured out that, or I learned that I was getting paid the same amount that Keely and Sabrina was after Raven Symone left, I would be upset. I would be mad. I would be livid, because I'm honestly surprised that Adrian's back doesn't hurt till this day for carrying the group after Raven Symone left, because it doesn't make any sense, y'all. In preparation for watching this video, they did the Party's Just Begun tour, and you can find the videos on YouTube. It's either Adrian's mic was the only mic that was on, or the other two girls, their mics were lowered, because Adrian was carrying the group vocally and stage presence wise after Raven left. While Raven was there, they shared the load a bit, because Keely and Sabrina, I don't want to say that they can't sing, however, they can't sing, I fear. So yeah, Adrian was at times watching the performances, her mic was the only mic that was on, and I feel like it did a service to the other two girls, because it just wasn't, it wasn't giving. It really wasn't. So there's that. Like, I feel like it probably caused some sort of tension, because saying that Adrian is the only one that can sing, even on the Cheetah Girls soundtrack, you hear everybody's voices kind of, but then you hear Adrian in the back doing oohs and ahs. I'm not a singer, but you hear her harmonizing in the back, going off vocally. And she's like she's the main girl. She's center. After Raven left, she becomes the main character. And not only in the Cheetah Girls movie, but also in their other performances. I listened to the Cheetah Girls album because they released an album like apart from the Cheetah Girls name, but it was named TCG, so the Cheetah Girls. But you just hear Adrienne Bailon's voice throughout the entire album. Like, everybody else's voice is either muted or they're being used to harmonize with Adrienne. So there's that. But yeah, I feel like the Cheetah Girls, and as I said before, I'm not giving the Disney Channel too much, but the Cheetah Girls really did their thing. They were, at the time, they were a pinnacle of representation on the Disney Channel. The Disney Channel did pretty well with representation, at least at that point in time. So yeah, but that was the video. It's pretty short. I wanted it to be like that. Let me know what you thought of the Cheetah Girls movies. Let me know if you liked it, didn't like it. Do you still listen to the Cheetah Girls music? I can't lie, Fuego is a bop. I was listening to Fuego and I was like, hold on, this is giving me something. But yeah, anyways, this was the video for today. Subscribe if you want to see more of my face. The next video that I do is going to be on High School Musical, so you can look forward to that if you want to. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.